So this match might just be the biggest upset of 2024. You've got the 9 seeds, Zane Navratil and myself, playing against the 1 seeds. And I spoiled it, it's an upset. The biggest upset of 2024. If you are new here, then what we're gonna do today is a match analysis. I've done this many times on the channel before, so I'm sure you're used to it. Let's get into it. So this match we're about to watch, we are going up against the #1 pickleball team in the world. If you guys haven't yet watched the vlog of this tournament, I go in depth on, the routine and the pre-match rituals and just everything that's going on mentally, physically during this tournament. It is a step-by-step video of how I beat the #1 team in the world. I'm sorry for the clickbait, but it's true, so you can't get mad at me. So usually when I do these match analysis videos, I include the audio. I'm going to not include the audio. It's a good shot. So funny, he starts off, I hit a good forehand. He counters well, and I'm like, oh shoot. I'm gonna not include the audio because what I'm gonna do for this video is I'm gonna cut it up so it's nice and quick. Which means it will be a lot shorter than the actual match, in theory. Nice, great speed up by Zane. I mean, attacking Collin far enough away to where Ben can't get that. I mean, this is a cool point. Nice. My guy, Zane. This point, oh. He's like, I had to go for it. And he did have to go for that. It's funny when you play pickleball and you hit like a really good shot or get a really good get, you feel like you got to finish it off. It's a great slide by Zane to hit that first counter. And then, I get that high ball, and it's like we talked about, I don't try and hit that shot perfect. I have a high back and flick. I don't try and hit it hard and perfect or a flat out winner. I hit it like 60% speed in a spot that I thought would get me an easier next one. They recovered very well in this point because I had a high ball, and I mean, I guess that's the risk you take when you don't put that high one away. Your opponents can come back into it. Oh, that was a cool point. As you can see, though, I think right now we're being the aggressors, but we're not being overly aggressive. You see, and all these shots that we're hitting, we're not trying to hit outright winners. We're trying to build up for the right one. If you don't know this, usually the guy on the left side, his forehand is in the middle, and usually the forehand is better. So they come over and take a lot of balls. There's no perfect science to it. It's more like art, not science. There's just no right metric to how much court you should be covering. It depends on the team, so it's hard to figure that out. Bad miss by Collin. I mean, it's hard for him to generate power. So if you hit a dink higher up to him, and he does speed it up, I mean, it's not like Ben where that was a really good speed up. If you hit a high dink to Ben, he'll create a lot of pace off that shot, whereas Collin struggles to do so as much. Nice deep serve. I take the middle shot, or I take the middle third. If you're gonna watch this match and you want to look out for something, is look out for who is speeding up and when they're speeding up. Those are like the two most critical aspects of this game, is who's being the aggressor and how and when they're being the aggressor. feel like a lot of points have happened and it's only 2-1. It's cool that there's a team like Zane and I where it doesn't matter who's on what side, we can poach from both sides. I mean, you would think it'd be easier to poach on the left with your forehand, but here we are on the right poaching with our backhand. I just like to say, Zane, right when I started playing, I think he was over at APP and he was like considered the #1 singles player at APP. And that's when they still have the spin serve. And he's really good at the spin serve. They call this out, they get overruled. Pivotal point in this match, by the way. Let's see. That's a bad angle, but I think it was clearly in. See, they just cut to it being our point. That's huge. 4-1 in the first. They get overruled. Anyway, what I was saying about Zane is, I mean, right when I came to the sport, he was, one of the top players in my mind. Because not only in singles, but all around. And, playing with him is awesome. We've played twice before together. First time we made it to the semis. That's huge. Which is why we played again, because we knew that we were a good team. And it's funny, we went from losing first round in the tournament before this, or like 3 tournaments before this, to winning. And that's so cool. Goes to the ATP. I think he hits behind me. Yeah, I'm not there again. Whew. It's hard to recover when you're in this position, but yeah, that was big. So that's where being on the left, I come over and I take that. Zane probably could hit a shot just as good, but it's weird because on the left, you're already closer to the net if your partner's returning, plus your forehand is often their backhand. Nice point. Oh, look at that lob, and it stays in. Same thing. I'm on the left, there's a high ball. I come to take it because I can take a forehand rather than Zane taking a backhand. And with my forehand, I've got more possibilities because I can pull that cross, I can go middle, I can go behind Ben, poaching with the forehand. Yeah, it's short. So I actually already rewatched this match just out of curiosity, to try and figure out what I was doing well, what I wasn't. So I have a very solid idea of what went on this match to let us win. And I mean, we just got a free point there from Ben. We weren't getting a ton of free points, especially from Ben. Up until this point, we haven't gotten a ton of free points. Like, there's only been 2 unforced errors, I think, from our opponents. So I sped up there. I mean, wasn't a great speed up. But I waited a while. I didn't speed up like the first shot. I think I waited and tried to pick the right one. Nice. Once again, I waited for the right one. The difference there is I sped up from off the court rather than the middle. And when you speed up from off the court or like towards the sidelines, you have a lot more angles. This is something that, sorry. Oh, that was dirty. We're gonna go back just to watch this real quick and then I'll finish my thought. Oh, where are you going? That's a really good speed up because it looks like I'm going to hit it pretty hard and then I kind of I don't hit it hard and I hit a good spot. Anyway, so speeding up, this is something 5-0 players can improve so much on, is if you speed up from the middle, your options, your angles are severely limited. I mean, think about it from a mathematical point if you want to. If you don't, it's okay. I'm not going to get mad. From a mathematical standpoint, if you're in the middle of the court, your angles are severely cut because now if you try and hit it wide or like across their body, it will probably go out. So your only really options are middle or right at their body. So if I speed up from the middle, my opponents know the couple options I have. Whereas if I'm on the edge of the court, I can go line, I can go middle, and I can go cross. The angles open up a ton. I wasn't watching this point. That was it. That was dumb. I'm going to go back 10 seconds. So the speed up wasn't great, but I like the shot. That Ernie, you know, I'm trying to do more. It just wasn't there. It wasn't there. See, if it was high, it would have been a good time to Ernie, but since it was low, now the best I can do is just get us back to neutral. That was my bad. So, real quick, what you can see what happened that last point is whoever is returning is going to struggle with the third more than the person who's at the net, because the person at the net is already set and established. So if Zane is returning, I should be taking most of the third shot drives, or drops I can let my partner take, but the drives, I gotta help him out. One of those rare, or that's as unforced of an error as you get. That was crazy. So if I'm returning, I want Zane to take that first ball if it's coming as a drive, you know, because just to help me out, because if I'm farther back, that means the ball can get lower before I hit it and just making my shot a lot more difficult. That's a great tip for players of probably higher levels, but still. A lot of patience in this point. You know, going to my back, and this is something I've been working on a lot, is being ready to counter with two hands. And what I did well there was I put my second hand on, but once I speculate that my opponent is going to speed up, I've got to start preparing already. That's the key in high-level pickleball. I mean, you're so close to your opponents and the ball comes so quick, is you need to anticipate. That's what makes the best players the best. And that's what Ben, you know, in the history of pickleball has been the best at it. So it's something you can teach, but you just got to play and become instinctual with it. Something Lee always tells me as far as this is expect every shot to be a speed up. And I mean, you know, that's great advice, but it's like, come on, every shot, like, that's not what you should always do, but if you're getting beat by speed ups, literally expect every single one. Be ready to counter, whether it's two hands, body counter, slide forehand, slide backhand, just be ready for it. That was a good speed up by Collin. I mean, I hit a high dink. No, on a different day, he might make that, and that's a huge difference. You know, 5.91 versus 10.52, us serving. Yeah. If we win this point, it's all Zane. Like, because I screwed us up with that first speed up. Oh, that was out. That's a big point. That was a big point right there. And you can't teach that. Look at this get. Look at that get. Oh. And then defense one shot, counter the next shot. I mean, if you haven't, you should go check out Zane Navratil's YouTube. Guy has a lot of great content out there. Definitely one of the best on this platform. So Boom. Oh wait, we gotta go back. We can't miss game point. I knew he was gonna speed it up. You see me slide? Like, we gotta watch this again. It's game point. So his head's down. Look at me move. I move as his head's down. That's something that's so key, because when people are speeding up, they usually have to look down at the ball right before they hit it. And when they're looking down, it's hard to see what's going on. I actually talked about this in the past, about cutting my hair so I didn't have to wear a hat when I played, so that I can see more in my peripheral vision. So that's when you want to slide or move, is when your opponent's about to hit the speed up and their head is down. Now this is the fun game. Tweener, that's huge. I mean, if you could tell the backswing that he just took there, look at this backswing. Right here. It didn't even show it, but it was going down too. Nice. Players who can have a good forehand and a good backhand are so lethal, because there's just no weaknesses in their game, or a lot fewer weaknesses. I faked him out there. Yeah, and then I was sliding. Let's see when I slid there. So let's look at this point. I mean, if you're on the left and the ball's getting sped up from cross, see, the thing is, that was middle. And I mentioned before, when you have a middle dink and you choose to speed it up, your options are either middle or body. I was preparing for my body. That was the left side, guys, ball. But it was a good shot too, because I mean, there's a little gap there that's just like, if you can hit, if you can thread the needle, which Ben did. Oh, that was such a pickleball point right there. The dinking, like speed ups. What we don't want to do against this team is dink all day, because we know that these guys have spent half a decade just dinking, beating teams by just dinking. That's not the strategy that we want to go in there with. We both have extremely fast hands, and that's what we want to do, is we want to bring the game to them and test the fast hands rather than the dinks. I think that the lob is such... Right, it's funny, right when I started, I remember my first couple months, I was like, the lob is the worst shot in pickleball. Why would anybody ever do it? And now I think that it's a shot with more potential than almost any other shot. If you hit the right lob, if you hit a good lob at the right time, you're basically giving yourself 60% chance of winning that point right then and there off the next ball. That's a made up number, but I stand by it. Yeah, this was my fault. Let's just erase that point. The lob, man, it's mostly used for when players are leaning in so much to the kitchen so that all their body weight is forward. It's funny, I have like a 6'10" person that I practice with named Andreas Silgerstrom, and if he's leaning forward, it's not that hard to lob him, because you can't jump because you're right on the kitchen. You can't put your feet in place in time. So if you hit a good lob, it doesn't matter how high you are, it doesn't matter how tall you are. I like that move. Good leave. As you can see, sometimes when a drop is very lofty with not a lot of spin, it will sit up. And if it sits up, you can hit it at its apex, and you can hit it with a lot of speed dipping down so that your opponent has to hit it below the net. That's what Zane just did, and oh, he had me. I remember that happening, and I was like, what was I ready for there? I think I was sitting, wanting to slide forehand, but I was late. And then I was quickly going to the backhand. So I would have gotten a paddle on it, but if he would have hit it low, like he was trying to, that's unlucky. I've hit that shot a decent amount. I come over, take the high middle, and like I said, I've got a lot of options there. And going behind the person on the right is a great one because they're covering middle. Is he going to do it? Oh, that's what I was talking about, though. It was off of a dink, not a return, but just missed it. Nice. You know, there's something just when you're playing and you're at this point 5-6, like in the second in a big match, you know, you just get in the zone. And I mean, you hear a lot of these athletes talk about getting in the zone, but it's, you know, it's a place that you don't know how to get into, but you just get in there. And when you get in there, if you can't think about being in the zone, because if you start thinking about it, like, oh, like how am I in the zone? I gotta stay in this place. You'll get out of it, because the way you get in there and stay in there is you're just not thinking, you're just doing. There's a great book about this called Relentless by Tim Grover. And it talks about, you know, like getting in the zone, and it's just like this guy Tim Grover was a trainer for a ton of pro athletes, including Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and that was a cool book to read. I was obsessed with it. Whew, another good leave. That's probably the first unforced error from Ben this game. That's what I mean, though, when they're not playing 100%, but, you know, it's very hard. There's a statistic that I'm probably going to make up where it's you play your best pickleball 13% of the time. Like, think about that. I heard that somewhere, but I may just be making it up. You play your best, you do your best in an activity or in a sport 13% of the time. So the other 87%, you're not playing your best. That's where you're going to have to dig deep and figure it out. Like, you're not going to play your best even. I mean, I remember that from tennis, man. I would sometimes play so well. Wow, hold up, we're going to come back to this thought. Huge point. Let's watch it again. What a get. That should be the intro to this video. What a shot. Like, he looks at that camera. He's like, did you get that? Yeah. Maybe he did it. Show it again. What a get. What a get. Like, subscribe right now. If you're not, come on. If you watch the videos, better subscribe. That's a great spot against any team because the person on the right is probably going to slide over, and it's hard for the person on the left to cover that. So, you know, that's one of those scenarios where if you have a righty-lefty team, that middle is kind of a no-go area. And, I mean, there's a lot of potential with the lefty-righty team. This is a good point. It's 5-8. I haven't hit a ball in like 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. No, he didn't. That should not be allowed. Look at this. It's behind him. That's crazy. Like, what sport can you do that? Like, that's so cool. I mean, this is against me, and if we lost this match, I'd probably be fuming. I'd be like, that's the point where we could have, but we won, so I'm okay. Zane challenged because he wanted to know if it was like a pull which means you're like holding on to the ball and like releasing it, which you're not allowed to do, but that was one motion, so it was fine. But if you like, it was one motion and unintentional, which I think matters. But if you like catch the ball and then you're kind of just like finessing it and go down, that's not allowed, which is what Zane was saying if that was the case. Oh. Why are you smiling, Lee? We lost the point. Come on. No, I'm kidding. Just got to appreciate good pickleball. We got to go back to this shot. So the problem is I wasn't ready for the second counter. There. All right. That was cool. I don't think my speed up was too bad on the last one. It was just good counter. That's tough, man. I mean, the speed up has been the right shot this whole match. Good counter. I think what may have happened is I hit it too early and, didn't pick the right one. But I'm so used to there being so many right ones. He missed that. It's crazy. You rewatch, and I'm often on the opposite side where you see that and you're like, that's the differential right there. And Collin making that Ernie, going up 10-8-1. Or I guess it would have been 10-8-2. Oh. Great point. Oh, we're locked in, baby. We are locked in. It's not a great serve, but I got an easy return. Who hit that middle ball? Let's go back. So this, I would honestly say, is Zane's ball right here. I couldn't even see it. One more time. Sorry, guys. The reason it's Zane's ball is if it's coming across your body through the middle, your partner, whoever's on... Wait. I think I hit that. So if somebody speeds up in front of you from out wide... cross court, let's say this way, it's going to your partner, whereas away from you. And if it's going to your partner, they're going to be able to get a cleaner stroke. So if I would have let Zane take that, he was on it, we would have been in a better position. That's another really good key for players at a high level that are trying to improve, or even not the highest level, is knowing which balls are yours and your partners, especially off of speed ups. All right, game point was this, number 1. I wanted to take a timeout. We didn't have a timeout, so I've done this before. This is huge, where I've wanted to take a timeout. It happened a couple tournaments ago, and I didn't have timeouts, so I just walked straight up to the line. It was like, okay. It was at like 10-8, I think, as well. Ooh, that's a big speed up. Yep. Let's go. They both were expecting the speed up right at them, so nobody was covering middle. So if you don't have a timeout, I just got to go to my another speed up. That's huge. Two game points saved by 2 speed ups. If you're out of timeouts in a professional setting, professional match, go walk to your towel, take a second. You don't get a full 90 seconds. But take an extra 10 seconds. And for anybody who would like to see Collin's reaction to that let court, there it is. We'll go back one more time. Bro, like you were going to get to the first one. He was leaning away. The net made it possible for him to even touch it because he was sliding. So without the net, it would have been a clean winner. All good, though. That's a solid switch right there. I have a feeling this is a long point. When you get that shot, oh, snap. Big point, 10-10. That was a crazy serve. Oh, man, this is pickleball right here. Oh, but the offense at the kitchen, defense moving back on the other side. I mean, trying to get it low, trying to like, it's tough because you can't just make it back. You want to make it back and get it down so that you can move in and put yourself in a better position. That's a great drive, huge. We're going to put me on the left right here. I think it's the first time the whole match that we stacked me on the left. Just because we felt more comfortable in this position. Yeah. It's a good point. Good point. You know, one of the few points they had faster hands. Oh, that was match point. It's crazy, you know, having a match point in a moment like this and not executing. In your mind, you can't think about anything, but you know, oh, if only I would have hit that shot a little bit better, if I would have taken a little bit less off of it, or if I was a little bit smarter. Like, those things are trying to creep inside your mind in these moments where it's the doubt, it's like, oh, what if, like, you just can't. You can't, something like that happens, you just got to move forward. I'm not there. Oh, I am there. Nobody's there. Zane's got those crazy eyes, you know. It's that intense moment where you can't be relaxed or not relaxed, but you can't think. You just got to do, and you just got to like lock in. Oh, that's brutal. Another game point. And you got to keep in mind, like, this whole match, if you think about it, it's Ben and Collin. They're the two players that are dealing with the pressure. They have the thoughts trying to creep into their head more than Zane and I. Right now, Zane and I are playing with relatively little pressure. I mean, we have pressure because we're winning, we're about to win, and it's like, now can we do it? That's the main pressure that we have. Whereas Ben and Collin are like, we're the number one team. We need to win. And you know, like, you see this is unconventional dink by Ben. Thing is, he is leaning. He's trying to cover middle, trying to cover for Collin, and we push behind him. That's not an easy dink. Am I going to go for the speed up? Oh! A little bit of luck. I think it hit the top of the net and then hit him. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I wish I could zoom in on him and his reaction. It's funny. You know, I like it when characters show a little bit of personality, and there's some personality from Collin when unfortunate or unlucky things happen. Look at me going to take my time, taking the towel break. Huge. Why rush myself? I mean, I have I don't know, like 20 seconds, 25 seconds in between. It's crazy that I actually don't know off the top of my head how much time I have in between each point. And I think it's weird because it's like, that's so unlucky. Let me just comment. And look at us. We're not upset about it. We're like, who cares? Lock back in. That's what I mean about those negative thoughts. Like, when you're in this moment, you can't have that. You're just locked in. I'll quickly comment. I don't know how much time I have in between. Oh, that's lucky. That's a tight dink. Oh, I was... I think it was the first backhand dink I missed the entire match. Missed a serve, maybe? Can't be giving away free points at this. Yeah. Just Ben being Ben. Whew, 13-13. When you've had match points, this is not the position you want to be in. That's it. That's what you got to go for. Get megged. Let's go. Excuse me. Nice speed up because, you know, I can go across his body. I can go to Collin or I can go to Ben's backhand. And if you mix that up, it will be a lot harder for your opponent to anticipate, like I was talking about earlier, specific shots. Because when you anticipate well, you put yourself in a huge, huge advantage. So changing it up helps. Let's go. Nothing else matters but this point. Yeah! Yeah! You'll have to excuse my reaction after this match. That was big. I kept my cool the entire match. I stayed calm. I did not start shouting or whatever. After we won, man, I was hyped. You know how many times I've lost to that team? Like, that's such a big deal. And we played better than them. We just outplayed them. I've been trying very hard not to celebrate too soon and to not overly celebrate during the match because I remember that's backfired a couple times where I'm celebrating too much and now it's like, all right, I have to win or else you've just been celebrating for nothing. So in this match and in a lot of matches I played, I wait until I win and then I get hype. Let's go. That's what's up. That is what is up. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you're watching this video and any of my other videos, you gotta be liking, you gotta be subscribing, you gotta support the channel. I'm out here for you guys, trying to make you better, trying to make myself better, just trying to do everything I can. And if you want to watch a step-by-step video of how I did in this tournament, check it out above or on my channel. Christian Alshon, out.